With 170 episodes of Arrow, some might say it's impossible to narrow all of those episodes down across 8 seasons and almost a decade of TV to decide the best of the best, but I beg to differ. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Ramakrishnan. Welcome to my channel. Thank you guys for coming along to see what I have to say about Arrow and the best episodes. Obviously, this is going to be subjective since there are just so many episodes. Like I said, there's 170 out there, and there is a lot of TV, and there is a lot of ups and downs in that TV. So I have watched all 8 seasons. I've been a fan pretty much since the beginning, and I took the time to compile a list of my favorite episodes. So without any further ado, here are my personal top 10 favorite episodes of Arrow.
Mom? Ollie?
Not yet, kid. I'm still to meet the rest of your family.
Starting off the list, we have the 15th episode of Season 2, that being The Promise. The Promise represents the best of the season, a season that is in many ways the best of the show, and that is Slade Wilson. Manu Bennett was always good up to this point, but by episode 15, things are getting a lot more intense as we really see him put the effort into establishing Slade Wilson, or Deathstroke, as one of Arrow's finest. The episode largely consists of Great Island flashbacks. We really do get a sense of the relationship and of course the tensions that were built up between Oliver and Slade. The title of the episode represents a promise that Slade had delivered to Oliver, that he'd be coming back to essentially ruin everything. In the present day, he is refraining from just killing Oliver. He has bigger plans to make him wish that he was dead.
You just killed me. Kill you now would be a mercy. You cannot die until you have suffered the same way that I have suffered, until you have known complete despair, and you will. I promise.
I also love the tension between them in front of Moira and others when they interacted and played it off so subtly. When Slade sees a very alive Sarah Lance, he seems genuinely surprised, an emotion that is kind of hard to get from him. Overall, The Promise is just a great episode, focusing on one of the best storylines of the show. Next up, we have the fall mid-season finale of Season 3 in the form of The Climb. This episode's title is literally depicted in it as one of the many challenges that Oliver faces, all to reach the demon's head.
By league law, I have the right to challenge you to a trial by combat.
It's been 67 years since someone challenged me. You covered death that much.
Do you accept?
Oh, yes.
Oliver fighting Raish is something that has been built up for quite some time in the beginning of this season. What I never expected at the time was that ending. But first, let's look at some other things that were also great. Malcolm Merlyn seems to always be a threat, and the revelation in this episode that he drugged his own daughter and proudly has that video of Thea killing Sarah under his control behind the scenes. And I love the ongoing drama between Oliver and the League that has Sarah and Malcolm right in the mix, dead or alive. But then there is of course that final fight, and it was epic. It was definitely one of the most exciting action scenes in Season 3 and in Arrow. There was a really great cliffhanger in the end as we see that excellent fight come to an end where Raish literally stabs Oliver and knocks him down off the mountain. This was very intense and crazy to end that way for a few weeks as we waited to see what was next in Season 3. This was a very great cliffhanger and just an exciting and intense episode overall.
Run, man, with moi.
The finale of the very first season of Arrow is one of the best episodes, titled Sacrifice. This is a great end to a very good storyline and season overall, establishing what Arrow is truly going to be about at its best. A lot of characters die in the Arrowverse, but back then Tommy Merlin's hit extra hard. He was Oliver's closest friend, so it was sad to see him go.
Did you kill him?
No.
Thank you. Go.
Tommy also never once thought that his father could be anything but a good man, but when he was told directly by Malcolm the plans that he had, it really did damage him.
So you killed them all?
Yes! They deserve to die! All of them! The way she died!
Tommy proved to be pivotal in the character development and relationship establishment of both Oliver and Malcolm alike in this first season. The ending was very strong, and that was of course complemented by a great fight between Oliver and Malcolm, standing up strong even 7 seasons later. It was overall just a very strong end to the debut season, and I think that it showed just how ruthless Dark Archer really was capable of being.
Morning, 4587. Beautiful day.
I see that look in your eyes. It makes me go blind.
Season 7 is divisive, but at least for me, I think that the second half was alright, whereas the first half is pure gold. And all of that started with the episode titled Inmate 4587. This debut episode for Season 7, going into the story that Oliver is in prison, was just awesome. It has a really excellent opening, establishing what the first handful of episodes are going to be like. Oliver being in a supermax prison with a ton of criminals that he pretty much put there is already preparing for greatness. The action scenes in Inmate 4587 are some of the show's all-time best.
Thank God you monologue. Run now!
It brings back villains of the past to show that they are new threats here at Slabside, and the action is really top of the line. It made me just incredibly stoked to see the prison storyline unfold, and looking back, that being one of my favorite arcs in Arrow, I'm so glad that this episode exists.
You should have killed me.
Crisis on Infinite Earths was hyped up to be to the Arrowverse what Infinity War and Endgame were to the MCU. I am back and forth depending on which aspects we talk of. One thing's for sure though, I really enjoyed part 4.
Some fates are inescapable. You spoke to one man across countless universes, but within the tapestry of the multiverse there will always be one Mar-Nobu who cannot turn from his towering ambition. And in that inevitability, there is destiny.
And part 4 of the event just so happened to be Arrow's 8th season's 8th episode. It starts off when the stakes are way past high. The Anti-Monitor left all Earths destroyed, and now the 7 Paragons were stuck between time and space, and Oliver is now the Spectre.
Every fight, every punch you've thrown, every kick you've landed, every arrow you've fired, they have all led you here to this moment, to the ultimate fight.
This was very exciting to see Oliver fulfill his greatest potential. He may have died as a man, but now he took on a higher being. He was basically like a god. I loved his power and his motivation and inspiration to the heroes. The use of the Speed Force made for some very great moments in this episode, some of the best as they really tugged on nostalgia, while also helping the characters grow. They learn from each other and themselves through the Speed Force interactions. The Ezra Miller Flash cameo was probably my favorite cameo in the entire crossover.
Found Barry Allen. No! What does that mean? How can this...
This should be impossible now.
It should be impossible now?
Inspector versus the Anti-Monitor was epic. It also ended with a sacrifice that really meant it was over this time, as if Oliver could die in this form, it really seemed that he was dead.
The real heroes,
They're the ones who have to keep going.
so keep going.
The creation of a new world from Oliver and how he saved everybody was the ultimate sacrifice. It was definitely the saddest death in the Arrowverse that we've ever seen, and I think that overall the episode was very epic.
An end.
And a beginning.
Alright guys, so that is going to be it for this video. Yes, there is a part 2, as I often do. See, I had a lot to say, I had a lot to show. I really wanted to kind of reminisce on these episodes with you guys by showing some highlights and clips of it, and just really talking a lot about why I love them, because Arrow is my favorite show. So stay tuned guys for part 2, build up some hype as we talk in the comments below all about Arrow and your favorite episodes. I want to hear your thoughts, and like I said, obviously stay tuned for the rest of the list, as well as some honorable mentions when we get there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe consider hitting that subscribe button if you feel like you want to see the rest of this list, you want to see some other TV, movie, and gaming content from me. Thanks again. I'll see you guys all in the next video.